Mayhem Makers, I'm Mindy with Quilting Mayhem, and welcome to Christmas Sampler, block number 2. We're working on the holly blocks. So we're going to make the large and small ones this week. I'm just going to show you how to make the large one. It's the same process for both. So we'll just go through one. It's pretty simple, and then just repeat the process for both sizes. Please make sure that you are checking for the pattern corrections that I sent out to you guys. If you didn't get them, let me know. Just email me, mindy@quiltingmayhem.com, and I'll get them to you because there is one piece of fabric that is a different size that it needs to be cut. Fortunately, if you've already cut it, you actually need to trim it down. So no fabric wasted there, but make sure you do that before you put your block together because you don't want to have to be taking things apart. So we're going to go to our upward shot so I can kind of show you what fabric I used and what we're going to do. So give us a minute and we'll be right back. Alright, so here we have the fabrics we're going to use for the holly block. This is for the large block. As you see, I've used the green Let It Snow. You can use whatever you want to make it personal to you. And then we have the black sashing, the red center, and then 8 of the 2.5-inch squares. There's going to be 2 for each green square. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do to make that part of the block. You're going to first draw a diagonal line. And I did have a question from somebody. They asked me what the rulers were that I used last week, and they are my Creative Grids 4.5 by 8.5 and 4.5 square. These live with me next to my machine. They're great smaller rulers to have, especially next to my machine. I have kind of a smaller station, and they're just handy. And I believe we showed how to do that flying geese on this guy last week. It's just so versatile. It has your 45 angles, a little bit of everything, 1/4-inch mark, 1/2-inch mark. They just really think out these rulers, so I love it. But I'm going to use my little 4.5 to draw my diagonal. I'm just going to line up each point. I am using my lovely Sew Line 3-in-1 pencil, 3 different leads, so regular lead. This is a pink chalk lead, and then there is a white lead. And you can refill them, so it's pretty cool. So each one of these squares is just going to get a diagonal. What you're going to do is we're going to place one on each corner of these green and stitch right on your drawn line. We will then trim a 1/4 inch from your sew line and then press. I press open. Tell you guys that all the time, but once again, you do you. If you like to press to the dark side, go for it. Really, with this fabric, it doesn't matter which way you press color-wise, because it really shouldn't show through the block, so it won't be a problem. So I'm gonna go do some sewing and cutting and pressing, and I'll be right back and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so we've put the 4 squares together with their sashing and their little center square. Last step is to put on the outer strips, kind of little border strips for each block, and I've cheated. I've got a finished one to show you. So in the end, you'll have 2 that look just like this. As you see, I've mixed up my fabric, so I have 2 different greens that I'm using for these large holly blocks. And then for the small ones, you're going to make 2 more like this, just in the smaller sizes. And all 4 of my holly blocks are different color green fabrics, but really, once again, up to you. So pick and choose, have your fun, get them put together. And so up to now, you will have Mr. Bird from last week, and then you'll be making the holly blocks this week. And we will see you again next Friday. Until then, happy stitching.